And good morning, folks. It's George Zapata here from the Zapata Brand Boxing Podcast. And today we're going to discuss a few things. We have the rescheduling of Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. We also have Teofimo Lopez fighting Jermaine Ortiz this week. All that and more on the Zapata Brand Boxing Podcast. Well, good morning, guys. It's a pleasant Monday here in Northeast Pennsylvania. George Zapata here, the Zapata Brand Boxing Podcast, giving you the update of what happened over the weekend and giving you the news of what's going on with my fight there, April 27, 2024, in the Berwick Area High School. First, let's go over what happened over the weekend. Over the weekend, as you guys recall, Olivia Ford, the 16-year-old from Lake Ariel, Pennsylvania here, who's been on the show a few times, fought for the 2024 Silver Gloves in Missouri. And unfortunately, she did lose a very close, very close split decision. She lost to a very tough fighter, but, and this is no knock on any of the officials, any of the people that were there who had seen the fight, anything against the young lady who she fought. I did think that Olivia won. That is not a knock on her. It's not a knock on the girl at all. I think you have to be talented to get there. However, I do think Olivia did pull it off. I talked to Sean a little bit on his way. He's on his way back home tonight, and they'll be on as soon as they can, and so we can get directly from the horse's mouth what exactly happened for that fight. Also this weekend, a Japanese fighter, and the name is Kazuki Anaguchi, 6-1, 2 KOs, passed away after a fight he had in Japan, unfortunately, at 23 years old. This is a very sad. It's rare that it does happen in boxing, but it does happen. This was a fighter, young man, 23 years old, and was fighting for the title there. And again, you hate to see when people say you would die in a ring because you have situations like this, and it does happen. It does happen. Obviously, we here at the podcast send our condolences to the family of Kazuki Anaguchi. Former contender Austin Trout went in and won the bare knuckle world title over the weekend. Also, I see here he won from Louis Baboon Palomino, unanimous decision in the BKFC welterweight world title Friday night. He made that transition. I think he felt that he couldn't get a good fight in the boxing game and made that transition. Very good for him. I mean, he challenged Canelo, did very well against Canelo actually, and he actually had a good career. I don't know if his boxing career is over. I would think it wouldn't be. I mean, at this point, he's doing very well. But I mean, if he maybe just can't get, maybe he just can't get a promotion together to give him a chance to fight. But Austin Trout again wins bare knuckle world title. And I think that was his first bare knuckle fight, if I'm not mistaken here. And of course, after the big news that Kevin Iole broke here on the Zapata Brand Boxing Podcast with the Fury Usyk fight being off, there is a new date, May 18th. That's going to be in Saudi Arabia. But also, here's the key to this one: there's a $10 million penalty for anyone who pulls out of this fight. I don't think they're playing around anymore here. 2 weeks away and the fight getting canceled, very tough to recover economically if you didn't have the money that they have. So that is definitely something I think they'll be aware of. Now, I don't know where the money will come from. I don't know if it'll come from just their purse, I mean, or them personally. I don't know, but it says there is a $10 million penalty if that doesn't go. Also this weekend, Nigel Benn's son, Conor Benn, defeated Dobson and by unanimous decision also. Now, he didn't, there's a lot of criticism of Ben, saying that he didn't knock him out, and they're criticizing Conor Benn for not having the power that they said he would have had, that he showed previously. Obviously, there's the allegation of performance enhancing drugs there, but I think when you step up a little bit, and I do think personally that Dobson is a tough fighter. So I think that plays a factor into this. Do I think Conor Benn sets himself up to look good if you don't knock people out now? Probably not. Probably not. But at this level, these people are a lot tougher. They're going to be able to take those punches, and you got to come with that. You got to understand that that's what's going to happen. So criticize. I think he didn't have. I think there was a lot of first time jitters here, and a lot of there was a lot of anticipation for this fight. No, I think the fight was at 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock in the morning, which wasn't good. But I think this was his first foray into the United States of being here because he can't fight. I don't think he can fight overseas yet. I think he's still suspended by the UK Boxing Association, whatever that governing body is. So I think this is his first time in Vegas, and that can play a big part in it. There's a lot of stuff, big lights, big town, unfamiliar territory. You're flying over, cutting weight, what have you. That plays a big part of it. I'm going to take this performance by Conor Benn with a grain of salt. And of course, this week, Thursday, February the 8th, Teofimo Lopez taking on Jermaine Ortiz in a fight where I believe is going to be a tough test to see where Teofimo Lopez is right now. I think Teo is one of those fighters who is underrated right now. He's underrated. And the reason being is because of what they say is his performances against someone like George Kambosos. But I do believe if they would have fought again, Lopez would have won. I think it was just a bad training camp. Obviously, he had the medical receipts to show that he had some issues going on with his lungs. That's where he was getting his backlash from. But they're saying excuses. No, I think he legitimately had this issue of a lung issue. There was COVID at the time. It was running rampant at that time. It was really bad. So let's be honest here. Talent-wise, Teofimo Lopez is one of the top rated 140 pounders right now. I think talent-wise, and I said that when he was in fighting at the 35 pound weight division. I think this fight will be a litmus test to see where his progression will be. What I'd like to see is him put on a good performance against a tough guy. Jermaine Ortiz is a tough guy. Going to give him a lot of problems. If he could put on a good fight here, I think him and Devin Haney would be the fight to make. It's a great rivalry, both families, and it's father son, great rivalry, and that can really produce the fights and start making that ball rolling again. We had the Tank Davis and the Garcia fight, so it can really start the ball rolling again to get these fights back on the schedule that need to be made in the sport of boxing. They need to be made. There's never a better time when these guys are really hot. You got to strike while that iron's hot, because a lot of this stuff will go away. There could be losses, there could be cuts. Look at the Fury situation. But those are the things you got to do if you want to make boxing back to where it is. You got to bring it back to when they're fighting. They got to fight each other. Too much inactivity hurts. If you look at UFC, there's a ton of fights on. Dana White does have the ability to know, I'm just going to put these fights on. You do have to, somehow these promoters have to come into agreement with each other, else they're gonna lose out. So where am I in my quest here to get down to the 189-pound mark by April 27, 2024, where I get back into the ring and Sean McFadden in the Masters heavyweight division? Well, over the weekend, or prior to the weekend, I did put on a few pounds. I worked out a little bit, but not as much. He was a little bit busy here, so I had to do some things. So once you get off of that track a little bit, it takes a little bit to get back on. And at 47, there's responsibilities that you have. I weighed in this morning at 211. So slowly but surely moving back down in the weight is best for me. I did spar last week twice. First time not so good. This time, second time around, better. But I didn't feel as comfortable as I should be. And that is a very big part of this, is getting my sparring and my timing down. But I will be there the next few days, going probably, I'm bringing in my other sparring partner. He'll be here Tuesday, I believe. So he'll be in. He'll be, I'm sure, chomping at the bit to get a hold of me, and that'll be where it really starts to get a little more serious. Towards the end of February is when it becomes hard sparring, where you have the one after the other, after the other, after the other coming in the ring, fresh bodies. That's when it gets real tough, but that's when I have to be at my best, because then I want to make sure come April I'm good. So mid to late March is when I'm really going to be at my peak, and then I'll taper off for no, you know what? We might change that. That might be changed now that I think about it. I might be 1 month off here. So it might be mid to late March where the sparring gets really hard, and then we taper off as we go down. I think we'll go there in this fight and show everybody what was supposed to be in the first fight, but it wasn't happening. I did tear my quad and had a torn MCL. Not the best situation, but definitely something I want to do. This week, I think we're going to try to go live. I think tonight we're going to try to do a quick hits, get some stuff about going on this weekend. Obviously, the Teofimo Lopez fight is a fight that I'm looking forward to. Usyk Tyson, I don't know. They say the fight's not going to come off. I think it will. Still working on a few other people that I have working on. They're coming in, and then a big one right before St. Patrick's Day parade in New York from Madison Square Garden. We might have a very good guest lined up. With that being said, enjoy your bagel, enjoy your coffee. I'm going to do the same. Don't be envious of what I've accomplished in my life. Be inspired by what you can do in yours. We will see you either tonight or tomorrow. Have a good day. Hey guys, thanks for watching the Zapata Brand Boxing Podcast. And if you could, please subscribe and like to the podcast.